What is language? This is a question that many people may have. Language is a universal key to communication, impacting identity, culture, and belonging. Today, I'll be talking about the impacts of language, learning a new language, and even the disadvantages people have with language. First, let's start off with unity. In this first video you are about to see, you will see an American girl who has learned Japanese, among other languages, communicate with Japanese females for directions.
日本人ですか？日本人ですか？本での駅行きたいんですけど。こっちです。本で駅。こっちですか？そうですか。今行くので一緒に行きますか？あ、はい。ありがとうございます。なんかアニメとかいっぱい見てて勉強しました。すごい。
By learning the Japanese language, this woman was able to communicate with other women for directions, and in turn, the woman not only gave her directions but joined her. As you can see, people not only feel appreciated but honored when their language is learned. These groups of people all have one common difference: language. But do they let their language difference distinguish them from each other? No. In many cases, language can divide people, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But here, language unites people. Many people bond over language and the differences in language. Individuals who are friends with people that are bilingual oftentimes learn from them. By learning the language of another, you not only break that language barrier, but it in turn makes it easier for you to communicate when you go to foreign countries. In this next video, you'll see two men, one American and one Mexican, having a great conversation with each other. These men are both bilingual and speak many different languages, but they joined together and decided to have a great conversation as they both felt comparing the languages they both speak would be fun.
De Venezuela, de Argentina, de España, sí.
Quiero escuchar español argentino.
Sí, por supuesto que sí, no problema, coño.
Yo puedo hablar español argentino también.
我也会，谢谢大家。Do you guys know what language that is?
Chinese. Chinese!
I speak Mandarin. Kind of obvious.
How do you say hello?
Hello is 你好.
你好. 你好. 你好. 你好.
The clip you just saw was from a video of kids. All different ethnicities and all are bilingual. They join together in awe at hearing each other's language, which they not only find intriguing, but they even ask how to say certain words in each other's language. Language is diverse in all other forms, and together, language can unite people.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, und Z.
Sign language. The way of communicating between deaf or mute people even creates a community among others, joining them together. On the other hand, language is a burial ground for division. Oftentimes, people are bullied, ridiculed, and treated with less sympathy as a result of speaking a different language. In America, a lot of people believe English is the correct language to speak. There's a lot of agreement and disagreement with this opinion. But one thing is for sure, people oftentimes ridicule others either using their language or because of the language others speak. And oftentimes, things that may seem normal in America, such as recording videos, may seem weird in foreign countries.
I will blow your mind. So if you're hating on someone else for how they speak, you're kind of being really, really rude.
The point of that video was to show that a lot of people are aware of the negativity people get for speaking a different language, and it's not okay.
Sometimes when I hear African American English being spoken in its deepest form, I'm like, come on, really? Don't do that. Don't do that. Not here, not in the classroom, not at this big talk in front of all these important people.
Language discrimination is a huge problem. People get bullied and ridiculed for the way they speak as if they can help it. In the video you just saw, you witnessed a woman admitting that people speaking in an African language in certain settings is not right, but can they really help this? In the next video, you'll see a woman judging a man for recording. And yes, it may seem weird, but she goes so far as to say the man is crazy. But the thing is, she does this secretly in front of him as she believes he can't understand her. Language barriers often let people ridicule others without them knowing, but that does not make it okay.
Wow.
全程拍下来呀！我说这两个人全程拍下来，完蛋了，惹到分子了。
Little does she know, he actually understood her. Moving on, an example of the way people get treated with less sympathy as a result of the way they talk stems from the story Mother's Tongue by Amy Tan. Her mother spoke Chinese. Living in the U.S., her mother didn't have what was perceived as correct English and rather spoke what was referred to as broken English. Because of the English her mother spoke, people often mistreated her mother or treated her with less sympathy. One particular piece of the story talked about her mother having a tumor. Her mother went to the hospital to get her results from her CT scans, which would in turn tell her if she had cancer. The doctors lost the scans, and instead of showing that they cared and would try their best to find the scans they lost, they pushed her mother away and showed little interest of finding her scans. All because she didn't speak great English, people treated her with less sympathy and as if she was less important. And in the end, language is the basic principle of communication, one of the tickets to getting places in life. Although grand and great, can also be dividing and ridiculing. Thank you for listening.